Hello guys, welcome back to another video. It's Devin here. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on Archeage, and this tutorial will be going over how to successfully sport fish and make money at it. So, sport fishing, there's a couple things you'll need to know. You'll need a lot of proficiency in fishing, and you'll need the resources to get started. One of the major resources is a fishing boat. Now, a fishing boat like this right here is pretty tough to get. It takes a while, and especially if you're not a patron, it's going to take you a while to get. But after you get this, you're going to want a fishing rod and some tackle. So, in the tackle, you're going to need, depending on your fishing rod level, like my fishing rod that I'm using right now is Archeage, and you have to have a certain skill level to be able to use it. And this kind of fishing rod takes this kind of lure. And the lures change depending on what level of fishing rod you have. So after you've got your fishing rod and your lures and your proficiency, you're going to want to get some pike. So pike you've probably gotten a lot of if you have been fishing to level up your proficiency. So you'll come over to a cooking station, you'll go to this tab and go to chopped fish buckets, and you'll craft one. This will take 50 labor, and it requires the cooking tool workbench. So now after you have that, you're fine. So then you'll have, this will come up. Now I have 39 of them because I've made a lot of them. You will only have one. So after this point, you're going to want to go ahead and go out to sea. Now, I have a waypoint set up in the middle of the sea so I can just go out there really fast. But this is going to be the long part, is finding the spots where you can fish. Now, this can get very tedious, and sometimes you just have to get lucky and find one, but eventually you'll find one. And with the fishing boat, it makes it a lot easier. If you're trying to just catch one, like get one pack of fish for a trip, it's not going to be worth it to you to do this. So you're going to not want to use your clipper. You're going to want to use a fishing boat. And the reason you want to use a fishing boat is, I'll show you. Alright, so fishing boats look like this. I've taken off the trade pack areas and the harpoon that's in the front. But with a fishing boat, you have 5 slots, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 slots to put fish packs. And then you also have 2 slots on the back if you catch gargantua fish, which are the biggest fish. So anyhow, the reason why you want a fishing boat, golden jellyfish, it's gonna come kill me. Anyway, this little part on the map right here, there's fishing icons that'll come up. And without this radar, you'll never be able to find these fish. It'll be so hard to do that it's just not worth the time. So you want to have this here. You want to be able to find one. So then you have to, I'm just trying to get away from this guy. You're gonna want to go to that fishing spot. So, I'll come back when I found the fishing spot. Alright, so we found a fishing spot, and you'll be able to tell it's a fishing spot based on seagulls flying around, and it'll say school of fish. So what you're going to want to do is equip your fishing pool. You're going to want to buy the correct lure, and then you're going to right click the chum, and then this little marker will come up. Then you left click to throw it in, and it'll create a fish feeding frenzy. Then after that, you take the T, this little button right here, you take that, and you cast out. Now you're going to be sport fishing. By doing this, it consumes a lure, and the chopped fish will run you about 5 gold if you do not want to prepare it yourself, which some people don't. But the red lure is specific to my fishing rod, and lower fishing rods take different lures. So you're going to sit here and wait, and this little meter is going to go down as time goes on. If it hits 0, you won't catch any fish. So if you don't want to waste the labor points, and you want to still catch fish, what you do is when you're done, like right before it hits 0, you just move so it cancels this action, and it will not cause labor points to be deducted. Now when you catch a fish, you will lose 100 labor points if you do not have any bonuses towards your fishing proficiency. My fishing proficiency right now is at 60,000. And as you can see, I caught a fish. This is the smallest level fish. You'll know it's the smallest level because it'll only have 18,000 health. The medium fish, however, have 30,000 health, and the gargantua fish have 37. And when you're trying to catch these fish, you have to match this command, so that command, with that icon. And you have 30 seconds before the fish will run away. So what I mean by that is if you don't put any type of command in within 30 seconds, the fish will flee. Now you're also set on a timer. I don't know the timer exactly, but if you take too long to catch this fish and you're still typing these commands in, but it's just been like 10 minutes, the fish will disappear. This prevents lower level people from just going up and catching big fish. Also, there's a mechanic that when the fish, it passively heals. So we won't get to see it with this fish because it's a small fish, but they passively heal, so their health bar will go up gradually. This is also a problem, and this is why you need a higher proficiency level. If you do not have a high enough proficiency level, you will do less damage than what it is healing, so you won't get anywhere. And by catching the fish, that's how it uses labor points. Mine's down to 85 because my proficiency is high enough. And this will add that proficiency to fishing, so that's fine. And you also get about that, roughly about half of that experience from catching a fish. Now, when you want to go get the fish, you just go up to the dead body and you can loot it like everything else in this game. Now you'll notice it is not in any of this, it is actually in the trade pack slot. So you'll hit character and it'll be right here. Now, this fish will automatically tell you what it's worth. This fish is one of the worst fish you can catch, and it's worth 8 gold. So, you put that in the slot, and if you want to, you can go ahead and release it if you're not looking for that fish. But I don't do that because I'm not a patron, so it's a waste of time and labor to just throw away a fish. So after I catch all my fish, I'll load up my boat, and then we'll be off to deliver it. So I will come back to you when I've fully filled out my boat, and I'll show you how to make a delivery. Alright guys, so we've loaded up the fishing boat. We've got 2 big fish in the back. I'm carrying one myself, and we have 5 down here. So now, after you've gotten your full fishing boat, depending on what island you're from, I'm from the west, so I don't know very much about the east island. But on this island, if you go to Solren Peninsula, which is the starting area, there's a castle there that's right on the edge that you can turn these fish packs in. And I will show you that. So, there's 3 tiers of fish, okay? There's small fish, medium fish, and then the gargantuan fish. The small fish will take about 16,000 proficiency, and this is how you check your proficiency. So, it'll have about 16,000 proficiency here. And that's to catch a small fish. Medium fish, which have about 30,000 health, you will need about 30,000 proficiency in order to catch them. And you will also need a little bit better rod, because the better the rod, the more damage it does. So if you have the right amount of proficiency but you can't quite catch a fish because you're not doing enough damage, then try to upgrade your rod, because that's probably what you need to do. So after that comes the gargantuan fish that are 37,000 health. You will need probably about 50,000 proficiency in order to catch them. And that can be tough because it takes a while, because you can only get so much proficiency a day. But once you get there, I just recommend using bait worms and fishing, leveling up that way. But it's not terribly difficult. So after you've done all that and you finally got a fishing boat and you can catch all the fish, the way to turn them in is pretty easy, but you can't find them on the map icon. At least I haven't quite found out a way yet. So we're actually going to be heading to this dock right here. It's going to be right there. That's the closest one to me, or at least that I know so far. You could always go to the Sun Peak Sea one, but that's just not a good idea. Don't do that. Because there's going to be a lot of pirates there, and I highly doubt you want to get caught up in getting all of your stuff stolen and your boat destroyed. That's not going to be good. Alright, so there's a price difference between all these fish. So there are a couple of fish, there are a couple different type of fish. There's the puffer fish, which is the lowest amount of gold. The bluefish tuna, which is the second lowest. Then there's the marlin, sailfish, and sturgeon, which I'm not really sure of those orders. All I know is sailfish is the most expensive. Now, at tier 1, which is the smallest, you get about 8 gold per pufferfish and about 9 gold per tuna. Marlins and those kind of fish will get you about 12 gold. Now, if they get onto the second tier, which is medium fish, pufferfish will get you about 10 gold, and so will the tuna. The tuna and the pufferfish are basically the lowest tier, the common, and then the sturgeons and those kind of things are a little bit higher tier. But those things will get you close to 12 to 16 gold for mediums. Now, gargantuas, on the other hand, a pufferfish gargantua will get you 20 gold. 20 to 22 gold. And then these kind of gargantuas are the tunas. The tunas will get you about 25 gold. And then it goes up from there. The next tier is about 30 gold, all the way up to 35 gold. And so if you get a full boat, and let's say you get the bare minimum, so you're getting 20, 40, and then 8 gold out of these 6, you're still going to get a good amount of gold. You get close to 80 gold. And that's worst case scenario if you fill up your fish, like fill up your fishing boat. And that's not too bad considering my fishing rod, which is a very high tier fishing rod, cost 80 gold to buy one, roughly, at least on this server. And it'll cost basically 5 gold to get a bucket and 4 gold roughly to get the lures. But that's not too bad considering the fishing rod can be used as long as it has time left. So I have another 24 days left on this fishing rod, so I have a ton of time. And it can be kind of tedious if you're gonna go out and fish daily. You'll take about, if you're gonna catch 8 fish, it's gonna be 800 labor points until you get your proficiency down, and then you can calculate that yourself. But until then, like, if you're waiting to fish, you have 45 minutes before the fishing frenzy will wear off. Now, the fishing frenzy, I've had it wear off on me before, but it's not too big of a deal. But it does kind of suck, so that's why you need to be, when you get higher proficiency, you can do things faster, and it'll make your life a lot easier. But then, while I'm waiting in between catching fish and waiting, it can get kind of boring, I'd say. You're sitting there doing nothing. You're like, just gotta catch these, turn them in, and then I can do something else. Well, what I do is I just go on YouTube and watch some YouTuber, and it helps speed up the process. It makes it less grindy because you're not completely focused on it. So we're coming up, oh, nope, not that way. It's on the other side of this little mountain here. And yeah. Another thing that's really hard about fishing, the amount of gold it takes to get a fishing boat is very high. It's a very expensive vessel, so not everyone can do it. And it probably took me about 2.5 months to grind my way to get a fishing boat. So it's not something you can just do one day. Like, you have to get 2 thunderstruck trees and a sun-ridged ingot, and you have to combine those into something else, and then you have the fishing license. And it just takes a lot to actually build this boat, but once you do, you're gonna love it. And I highly recommend doing it, especially if you get bored doing pack runs, because if you saw my proficiency, I've done my fair amount of pack runs, and you get tired of them. And it's rough. But also, when you get this fishing boat stock, it'll have one right here where my cursor is. It'll have, what do you call it? A harpoon. It'll have a harpoon, and it'll also have 3 trade pack slots. 1, 2, and then 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. So you'll be able to carry 4 trade packs if you ever wanted to, which I don't really think you will. No real reason to, especially if you're fishing. When I first started this, I made the mistake of not having any proficiency in fishing before I made the boat, and then I couldn't use it. That was terrible. But okay, so we're here now to where you're going to turn them in. This dock, you don't have to go to this one. You can go to any one you want. And you can fish anywhere the ocean is. But you have to find those fishing spots in order to use to catch fish. And those fishing spots move around every day. And every minute. Like, they're not constant. So now, we're coming in. And this little hook thing right here, it's called a fishing stand. So what I do is I just run that up there, click the owner's mark, and then you turn them in. And you run slow, of course. But the nicest thing about fishing is and it's the worst thing about packs. When you're doing a fishing pack, it says sell it for 7 gold. There. I automatically get that 7 gold right away. It doesn't take 22 hours to get it. I get it the exact same time that I click it. So that's why fishing is seen in my eyes one of the best things you can do. Now this is the gargantuan pack. And see, it's worth about 23 gold, 24 gold. So I started at, let's see, 124 gold at the start of this trip. We're going to see how much I have at the end. So this, and it also doesn't take any labor in order to turn these packs in. So the only labor you're going to use is the labor that it takes to actually catch the fish, which is so much better than what they have in the trade pack system, because in the trade pack system, not only do you have to use labor in order to create the pack, you also have to use labor to turn it in, which I never quite understood, because if I'm just handing it to someone, I'm not doing anything with it. And it's one of the reasons why I decided that I didn't want to do trade packs anymore, because I wasn't getting anything out of it. With trade packs, the materials cost about 20 gold for 1,000, which I guess isn't too bad, but usually you need 2 of those. So you're going to be using about 40 gold to even start trade packing. And, ooh, I'm stuck in a barrel. And if you know anything about trade packing, starting out is very rough, because you don't have the best stuff. Like, my trade pack machine only holds 3, my farm cart. I never got patrons, so I never got the ability to really go up in it, because it takes so long to do. But that is what it is. If you enjoy trade packs though, and that's what you like to do, it's less risky than, like, Care Bear trade packs are way less problematic, because I've run into people out there that'll try to kill you and take your fish. And since I'm not the best at PvP on this game, I die every single time. So just keep that in mind, that if you're fishing, there's a good chance that pirates could come and kill you. But I haven't personally had it happen with this fishing boat. But whenever I do trade pacts to Freeditch Island, in order to get Guild of Stars, to get this fishing boat, I'd get killed all the time. And I'd only have like 1 or 2 packs that I was carrying, but they didn't care. They just killed me, turned them in, and got what they wanted. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're doing this. And I think we're down to my last pack in here. Alright, so we're down to the last pack. And you can't unsummon the boat with fish in it. So keep that in mind when you're doing stuff. Like, if you click it and it says can't do it, like can't unsummon at this time, it's because it still has a fish in it and you have to take care of that. So there you go. I have now 220 gold. So I made 96 gold off of one trip. And since I have my proficiency up high enough, I only have 85 proficiency per fish. And so that's not too bad of a thing. I'm going to do the math real quick. It's about... yeah, it's not that much. It's... I don't know. I really... yeah. Okay, so that's the tutorial. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you guys would, leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content later on. Right now I'm in school, so it's a little bit difficult, but once summer hits, I'm going to be doing more videos. And also, if you would like another Archeage tutorial that you need help with or you can't figure something out, leave a comment and I will try my hardest to figure it out and I will let you guys know how to do it. So thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time.